Episode 8 of You Don't Know Ball. Welcome back, everyone. A lot of stuff has happened since we last been talking, but we are back here with Harris. If you don't remember, he was the South Carolina super fan that we introduced a little bit ago, and we're going to talk a little bit of Philly sports with him. Obviously, maybe even touching some college football. A lot, like I said, a lot of stuff happened. So excited to get into it. But before we say, I feel like we got to give Harris an actual proper introduction. Last time we kind of just jumped him in here. So Harris, why don't you tell us a little about yourself? I know he's a Barstool guy and big Philly sports guy. So why don't you give a little
Yeah,
background?
basically, I know Frankovic. I'm a good friend of Frankovic, and I'm a psycho about sports. I work for Barstool currently. I run the Barstool Gamecocks page, that kind of stuff. And then my side job is kind of just like trying to go viral on TV at South Carolina games. Uh, I do that, and then I am a fake NFL sharp that is not good at betting the NFL. So
Yep.
I like doing that as well. And I just love talking about sports, love stirring up some conversation. And I like to say that I've never been proven wrong in my life. And I still kind of stand by that. And everything you hear from me today will probably be accurate as well. So you might as well listen.
Yeah, no, obviously, appreciate the introduction. As Harris mentioned, he's never been proved wrong in his life. However, last time we had him on here, he was trying to tell me that CeeDee Lamb was going to get absolutely locked down by Quinyon Mitchell and Dak Prescott was going to suck this year. And now I believe Dak Prescott is probably an MVP candidate. Even though the Cowboys suck, he's up there. I mean, the stats don't lie, numbers don't lie. But anyway, we call him a South Carolina super fan because there was a couple clips that went viral. Speaking about South Carolina, I don't know the full status right now on the North Sellers, but all I know is that South Carolina has completely fallen off a cliff.
Yeah, no, you're kind of right though. I mean, the Vanderbilt loss is absolutely devastating. I mean, that what that does to a team and like that really unsettled the entire season. And talking about Lenore Sellers specifically, I still think like even in the loss against Missouri, he was really good. I mean, the his arm ability that game was fantastic. Like he showed why he's like one of these top prospects. And we're not gonna talk too much South Carolina because I mean, if you look at their schedule the next 6 weeks, I mean, Lord have mercy. Like, they
Yeah.
play at LSU, Oklahoma, Alabama, at Ole Miss, and at A&M. I mean, if we go 1-5 in that, I'm happy. I'm not even kidding. One
Mhm.
upset there. Hopefully it's at home, so I'm there. But I don't know if we're making the playoff. Maybe we can play spoiler to someone. I still think Sellers though is an NFL talent. I don't know if he'll go out this year, maybe next year, but I wouldn't write him off entirely yet.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would agree with that. I'm not going to write him off. He's obviously talented. It just kind of sucks that he got injured, so we're not seeing him as much as we would like. But yeah, I mean, with South Carolina kind of falling off, the SEC in a sense is kind of wide open. I mean, what do you guys think right now? Who do you think is the team to beat in the SEC? I mean, you just saw Georgia looked like they were the top dogs, but then you see Bama coming in their place, and I mean, Kirby Smart's got the Bama problem, so Bama's back to being one of the elite teams. You got LSU kind of hanging around. I know Ole Miss honestly looks like they could be the top team. And then you got like someone like Mississippi State or like, sorry, not Mississippi State, Texas A&M.
Yeah, I was gonna
Um,
say Mississippi State. You're either a Mississippi State fan or like you're trying to give a shout out to Mississippi State. You're
yeah,
saying their
nah.
contention
Mississippi State was just on my mind for something, but I mean Texas A&M.
there.
So it's like the SEC is kind of wide open. What do you think is the who do you think the favorites are now to win that?
I mean, to me, like big SEC guy, I like to say I know a lot about the SEC, but like college football since NIL has really been introduced. I mean, it's as wide open as you said before. It's as wide open as it's ever been. I mean, I think that Alabama and Georgia are probably the top dogs here. I also think Ole Miss is like I don't know if they're contender or pretender. Yeah, that's a big win against LSU last week, but you're home. We don't know if LSU is as good as we think. Like they beat Clemson, but I mean Clemson looks like absolutely terrific. Or horrific, not terrific. Season from hell. Similar to what FSU had last year.
Right.
So I would probably before the season, my preseason pick to win the entire thing was Alabama, but that Florida State game really scared me. And now that we know that Florida State might not be as good as everyone thought they were after losing to Virginia, like, come on. And we can act like Virginia's a good team, but like, can
We're not.
let's be
We're
real.
not.
We're not.
No,
So this
no,
podcast is not going to act like Virginia's good. All right, great.
No.
Like,
No.
okay.
no. Virginia,
So like,
Virginia, yeah, that was a trap spot for Florida State, in my opinion. They could have been looking ahead to Miami. Like,
100%,
yeah,
100%. And like you see that, that's why college football, like if you're betting it, and like I was on the other side of that game, of course, because I'm just awful. But like trap spots, everyone recognizes it, and then like the result still happens. So kind of a long-winded way to get back to, I would say Alabama and Georgia. It's very chalky answer, but you know, Georgia with Kirby Smart, are you ever going to count them out against anyone except Alabama? No. And
no,
like that game last weekend was awesome to watch. I think that Gunnar Stockton is still like he's a legitimate player. He's played in big games before. He's played in the playoff game. Like, so those are my two teams.
I have a
yeah.
question for you, Harris. Follow-up question. Do you think Garrett Meyer, do you think he's healthy? It looks like he's wincing. I don't know if he's fully healthy. I think he's a lot better than how he's played, and I think it's because he's not 100% and he hasn't said anything.
It's interesting, like in the SEC, and like, what's even crazier? Imagine I were to have told you that, what is it, week 5? I didn't even think in my head about Texas. You mentioned Mississippi State, not even Texas, because they just don't look good at all. And people are questioning if Arch Manning's injured because he looks like he can't throw a football. So like all these, I love how like, and it's not anyone's fault, but I love how when quarterbacks that we've hyped up in the beginning of the year, I hate to put Sellers in this, but Sellers, Nussmeier, Orch, Klubnik, all these guys that we already were like, okay, these guys are going to be in New York at the end of the year. When they don't look good, it's like, is Arch Manning injured? Like his arm's not. Well, maybe he's just not that good. I don't know. He's
Right.
never played before. And like, yeah, he beat UL Monroe last year and Mississippi State at home. But like, what does that even mean? And you see Arch, like, it seems like he's just totally lost right now. Like he's like flexing on the Sam Houston State defender after scoring the touchdown. I'm like,
That was
come
really
on.
bad.
Like, what are we even doing here? But it's just I find it interesting how, with Nussmeier now, we're like, is this guy really healthy? Well, maybe he's just not as good as we all thought he was.
I don't know.
That could be
Yeah.
something to think
For
about.
me, I think he's not healthy. I mean, we know how good he was. He showed flashes last year, and even in the Clemson game, he showed what he can do. Like some of that deep ball that got called back in reverse, like he made some clutch throws. And Clemson Z coming in was hyped up to be one of the best seasons in the league. So I don't discredit that win at all. But the thing with LSU for me, I'm still a huge believer. I still believe that this team can very well win the SEC. They got the defense to do it. I know they didn't have their best showing against Ole Miss, but that was a tough environment, right? Like that going in there, like it was going to be a tough game for them to win. I mean, they were underdogs in that. That's how you know it was a trap spot. But
Yeah.
LSU still has the opportunity to go out and win. I know they got big games against Bama. I know they're going to play A&M at the end of the year. Like they can easily, I mean, but it's also like the SEC is wide open because also when I think about it, you got Oklahoma that's ranked 5. I know Mateer's hurt,
Yeah.
but like Oklahoma can very well win that. You got teams like Missouri like creeping up in the top 25. Who knows? Like I don't think they're going to actually win the SEC, but they're a team that can easily upset one of the top teams, and that cranks their ranking down. Like it is completely wide open in my opinion. And honestly, I feel like when you mentioned the NIL gap, it's a whole different era of college football. But this year, honestly, feels like the gap isn't super large. We're like you look at Florida State losing to Virginia. Like who would have thought that? And you see other like the Big 12 this year is honestly, I feel like they're a pretty decent conference. We could very well see 2 teams from the Big 12 make the playoff. Like Texas Tech is very good. I think Texas Tech can beat an SEC team, honestly, after what they just saw versus Utah. And even Arizona State, like they're a pretty good team. Like they're a duo, Jordan Tyson and Sam Levitt. Like they're pretty solid. They can compete with anyone. So my point here is like college football in general is wide open. And when we look at the SEC, who knows? Like it's going to come down to the wire who's actually going to win it. And like, let me tell you, the end of the year, like the SEC championship, when we get into those rivalry weekends, like that's gonna be a fun time to watch football, man. Like that is going to be like must watch television. And I'm excited to see it. But I personally think Bama and Georgia. I would put Bama as the favorites now after they beat Georgia. Georgia's secondary just got completely shredded. They are dog shit awful. And that's why I don't really trust them. I like Gunnar Stockton. He's a good quarterback. But I think Bama's the more complete team. When we look at the Florida State loss early, that was just them kind of coming out a little lazy. I mean, you saw we talked all about how Kalen DeBoer didn't look like they had their guys ready. Like it was a rainy conditions. Florida State just came out and gut punched them in the mouth. And I think that they honestly needed that loss in the beginning because now they're more motivated. They know how to handle adversity a little bit more. And that's why I'm not worried about Bama. I think they are the favorite, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see like LSU and even I like what we're seeing from A&M too. So it's gonna come down the wire. I'm
Yeah,
excited to watch it.
Yeah,
I like
just
that.
to like wrap that up, like in the SEC, the reason I wouldn't have LSU like at the top of like my predictions if I were predicting who was going to win it, like I think the coach is really important, and
Mhm.
I love Kalen DeBoer. I love
Kirby.
uh, Kirby Smart. Yeah, thank you. I love Sark. So those are three legitimate programs right there with the NIL and the players. Hopefully, we don't know if they have the quarterbacks necessarily, but oh, Ty Simpson looks amazing. But those would probably be the three teams I'm looking out for. And also, like your point before about Texas Tech. I mean, NIL. Look at a team like Texas Tech. They got that oil money, and now that team is going to be legitimate. They are
Mhm.
going to be fucking elite, like
Yeah.
for a long time. And and I didn't really believe it. And then I watched on Big Noon a couple weeks ago. They beat the shit out of Utah in Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was,
With the
and
backup
it just
quarterback.
no,
Like,
it's crazy, and
yeah.
it just shows you that like times are changing, man. These
Mhm.
guys, these certain schools can buy players and buy these teams, and a school like Texas Tech that was only originally known for scoring 60 points in crazy Big 12 games and Mahomes, they're going to be legitimate now, and they're going to be contenders in the future. So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally agree. I thought that was an ass kicking. That was one of the more impressive games of last weekend. I want to talk to you now, Sam. I know you brought the team down, the wild card squad down to Happy Valley.
Yes, sir.
Oh, sucks, man. He's played Nevada, FIU, Nova, and Oregon now with a 48.4 QBR.
Mhm.
Touchdowns, two interceptions. That's unacceptable. What is going on?
See, like Aller is interesting to me because, yeah, off the bat, he does suck. Like in the beginning of the game, he was underthrowing slants, he was missing basic passes. It looked like the whiteout crowd was affecting him more than it was affecting Dante Moore. And like when you look at it from a 30,000 foot view, like obviously the stats aren't good, but like Aller still showed like that's what we talk about why he's a good NFL prospect because he made throws in that game that make you turn your head and say like, holy shit, this guy's legit. Like even not even just a touchdown pass. Like in the beginning, there was a couple third downs where he got off script. Like there was also like, Rush was coming at him. He like trips and falls and was able to sling it like 15 yards for first down. Like he's got the talent. I think there's a debate on if James Franklin's ruining him because now you're seeing like Penn State's former backup, Bo, I forget his last name, but he's at Missouri cooking right now.
Hmm.
So it's like, is it a James Franklin? Is it a Penn State development problem or what? And that's something they got to figure out because when you look at this Penn State offense, when teams stack the box and shut down the run, they're not effective. And Oregon did just that in their own house. How can you trust Penn State to be a top team in the Big Ten? You can't. Oregon's better than them, 100%. Ohio State's better than them. I would argue that Indiana's better than them at this point. They got the better quarterback. They got the better offensive skill players. I think Indiana's better than them. I don't think Illinois was, but like Penn State, like they could easily be a three-loss team if they lose to Indiana and they lose to Ohio State. And then we're having conversations on if they even make the playoff. Their defense is suspect a little bit. They got some good talent in the NFL talent, but like it's not as good as last year. And that's why it's like Penn State watching that game live. How do you let Oregon come into your home field in that whiteout and lose? Like Dante Moore in that offense, great game plan, but they were completely unfazed. The Penn State had no answer for them. And it stunned me. It shocked probably the entire stadium. But now it's like a wake up call. It's like, is Penn State really this powerhouse? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they're a three-loss team and we don't see them in the playoffs. Like,
Yeah,
how's that
I
environment?
wouldn't be shocked either.
mhm.
How is like? Can you and like? I don't think TV does it justice. Really,
Mhm.
is it like as insane as everyone says it is?
It really is. So our seats were pretty high up, so you didn't like you weren't in the student section like really getting the full volume of it. But when I went 2 years ago, we were more down closer to like the end zone, and it's like that was a day game, and it was so loud. So I can only imagine when you're down in that field, it's unreal. Because I was also at Tennessee 4 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago when Tennessee played Georgia, and
Mm.
like Tennessee was pretty loud, but Penn State almost blew it away from where we were sitting. So I can only imagine when we were down on the if you were down on the field that game, like I mean, Oregon came into the game. I don't know exactly how they did it, but they were obviously silent count the whole time, and they were going off their center because they couldn't hear shit. Like you can't hear.
Yeah.
You gotta come into the huddle knowing 3 plays to run because you can't really get the call in from the sidelines because it's so loud. So and that goes even more credit to how good Oregon. Maybe I think Oregon. You can argue that they're the top team in the country. Like,
Yeah, going
I
into the
love Dan
game.
Lanning.
mhm.
Yeah, shout out Dan Lanning. Is it more credit to Dan Lanning or is it more discredit to James Franklin? I don't know because he's 1 in 15 in top six games. I thought this was one of the easier top six matchups like he can have. But this Oregon team looked legitimate. It didn't look like the whiteout affected them at all. I know Dan Lanning's obviously going to say that after the game to Aura Farm, but it seemed like it didn't affect them at all.
Yeah, Dan Lanning is a great coach. Like I just said, the game plan he came in with a lot of quick passes, making it super easy on Dante Moore. And on defense, they stacked the box and they told Drew Aller, all right, fuck it, you got to beat us with your arm. And it worked. Like it completely worked. And even when it got into overtime, right? You would think that Penn State crowd, like, oh, everyone was in that crowd. Oh, Penn State's got this. There's no way Oregon. They completely had every answer. Had every answer. And that goes, it starts with your head coach of instilling belief in your guys and coming with a good game plan. So I think that Lanning is probably one of the best coaches in the country. I mean, have you seen those clips? Like, you see those clips, by the way, at the end of the game where he's like freaking out. Everyone thinks he's on like cocaine or some shit. Like, the
Yeah.
dude is fired up on
Unbelievable.
the sidelines. Like,
So good.
yeah,
I
you gotta
love
love
that
it.
shit.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Let's pivot to the NFL. I want to talk Blazing Five. I want to talk Eagles. I want to talk Chargers. Like, what do you guys think right now? How do you feel about this NFL season? What's going on with the Chargers running back room? Why is Michael Carter being talked about? How is DeMarcado not the number one back after Benson goes down?
You mean Yeah, Cardinals.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, well, Benson's hurt a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, 4 to 6 weeks, knee sprain.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Now
yeah.
his the third string he had like 10 rushes. He's like more of the receiving back last week. Apparently he's not even the lead back in that offense, which I don't understand.
Dude,
Everyone's freaking out about Michael Carter.
I can go on and on about the Cardinals offense and how brutal it is.
Yeah.
Like Drew Petzing, it needs to go. I don't know how he's still employed, but
Yeah.
like as far as the run game, like Jonathan Gannon and Petzing came into the season, they were like, all right, we're going to be a running football team. That's what their main value was, and they can't run the fucking football. Like I think before James Conner, even when he was healthy, he was probably averaging like 3 yards a carry. He was getting hit behind the line almost every time. And it's not like the Cardinals have a bad O line. They came into the year with arguably a top five O line. So why is it not performing? I think that it literally draws right on the coaches for not preparing their guys. Their scheme is terrible. Kyler Murray and you can talk about Marvin Harrison too having the drops, but like I don't think they're when Marvin Harrison is only getting targeted 5, 6 times a game, all of his catches are going to be under a microscope. And with that limited action, he's going to, because he's not getting more comfortable in the game plan. So every single drop that he has, it's under a microscope, like I just mentioned. And
Mhm.
so that's what also, like, it doesn't instill confidence in your guys. And going back to the game plan, like, they want to be a running football team. They can't run the football. So now you're putting more pressure on Kyler Murray to be Superman. And that's when everything goes down in shithole. Their defense is very good. They've been solely keeping them in games. But the Cardinals should be, with all the talent they got, they should be a 3-1 team. They should have beat the Seahawks in that game. Even with all the mistakes that they had, they should have won. And is when you go back to the running back room, like, I seriously don't think they know what the hell they're doing. So yeah, they're probably bringing Michael Carter to try to. I mean, they're a little bit committed, and
Yeah.
maybe they just don't like DeMarcado. They don't trust him. But
Well,
yeah,
dude,
it's
Twitter
You
it's
is
brutal.
guys,
yeah.
you guys care a lot more about the Cardinals than I do. Because that team to me is you're hyped up after the ones, and you're like, oh my God, the witching hour was so good. Okay, we got 3 games. We got probably the Chiefs. Chiefs are on at 425. We got San Fran or Seattle on, and then it's like, oh, the Cardinals are playing the Raiders. Okay, that's like that doesn't have to be on. I mean, the
Hmm.
Cardinals are like, I don't and like
No.
I'm
I'm
kind of
just not
biased. I love
that
Kyler,
is an
bro. Yeah.
NFL that is an NFL black hole for me. The
Hmm.
Cardinals, the Titans, which is a game this week, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cardinals
Yeah.
Titans, it should be a spot where the Cardinals they're favored by a touchdown.
Which is unbelievable.
So
I think the
I
five should be
mean,
all on the Titans right now.
the Blazing Five has been on the Titans a lot recently, and that's why the Blazing Five does not win as much as it should. We're reworking the model right now, but we
Yeah.
gotta
I heard a
what
lot
we gotta
about this
talk about. So
model.
yeah, no, we gotta rework the model here. We're losing a lot of games, but like, we should be talking about is the discourse around the Eagles and Jalen Hurts and how it's one of the dumbest discourses I've heard in sports media, period.
Well,
So I would
Jay
love to
Brown
hear,
agrees.
Frank, if your kind of side of this and where you come in on this so I can just destroy it.
AJ Brown agrees with me. He
AJ Brown
can't
said
get
the
him the
same.
ball, bro. Can't get him the ball.
Okay. So this is funny. And a lot of people don't remember. I'm an Eagles fan. So, of course, I remember all the stuff that goes on throughout the years and years past. So, last year, right, the Eagles were a dominant Super Bowl winner. Best team in the league, no question. Blowout in the Super Bowl. But people forget through 5 weeks, people want Sirianni fired. And the offense with Kellen Moore was stagnant. Not the same kind of thing was happening. It was to the point where AJ Brown got that inner excellence book and was reading it on the sideline. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, trade him to the Patriots!" Like, trade him to the Patriots. Like, you want him to go to the Patriots with Drake May, like who has been all right, but like, come on, what are we even doing here?
He's been
Now with the
awesome.
Eagles, I actually think for people that are listening to this, this is a great spot to buy low on AJ Brown, whether it's in fantasy, whether it's gambling, anything. Right now is the time to do it. Because AJ Brown likes to do this thing where he creates a lot of like public media, everyone wants to go insane because he quotes a Bible tweet about how, they're not using him and he's not getting the ball enough. Now, Jalen Hurts in these games, I call them Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball games. There's 4 examples of this. Last year, week 15 against Pittsburgh, the narrative going into the game was like AJ Brown wants out. AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts are not friends anymore. Like, and then Jalen Hurts goes out there 25 of 32, 290, two tutters, 28-13 win against Pittsburgh. Jalen Hurts is like, I can throw. That's one example. You want to ignore that? That's fine. Let's go to the playoffs now. Conference championship game and the Super Bowl. Two dominant passing performances, 246 in the conference championship and a touchdown. Super Bowl MVP, 221, two touchdowns. AJ Brown got in the end zone both games. So when Jalen Hurts is told by AJ Brown, like, hey, fucker, give me the ball, he gets the ball. He's going to get the ball. People need to relax. Last week, Todd Bowles is usually Hurts' kryptonite, and we beat him. Like, we beat him on the road in the House of Horrors that is Tampa. So what I'm saying is, even 3 weeks ago against the Chiefs, when people were like, oh, Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball. Well, then against the Chiefs, he couldn't throw the ball. But then against the Rams, he throws for 230 and 3 touchdowns. AJ has 110 and a tutter. So, like, the week to week of the NFL, like, yeah, it's a week to week league, but we all need to relax a little bit on this narrative that Hurts can't throw the ball because it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. All the guy does is win games, and all he does is get criticized because he's not one of these sexy quarterbacks like that just throw for a shit ton of yards, shit ton of touchdowns, but don't win football games. Because in the end, that's all that matters in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, 100% agree with that. Like, we can talk all about how the Eagles' offensive scheme has been terrible and how Patullo has been shit in the bed and how AJ Brown's only running slant and comeback routes and even how Saquon's been going. But the fact at the end of the day is they're 4-0. And if they're 4-0 doing all this shit show on offense, imagine when they start clicking. Like, that's my take with it. But I'm interested to see like why do you think AJ Brown is having the production he is right now? Like, I know he had the game against the Rams where he did well, but why do you think there's all this whole stigma around him, and why is he not producing like people expect?
I don't think Patullo has full, like, the Eagles, they win every game. Like, it's insane how much they win. And I'm not even just saying that as an Eagles fan, but they've won a lot with this conservative style. We're going to run with Saquon. Hurts is going to throw the ball 15 times for 180 yards, have a rushing touchdown, and we're going to win the game. And as a coach, Sirianni, like, it's mostly, I mean, his hand, like, his fingerprints are all over this offense. He's an offensive coach. Patullo is his guy. So when Patullo is a young coordinator, Sirianni's eating him in. And the only time where Patullo was really aggressive with the play calling and Jalen Hurts was like, let me throw the fucking ball was when they were down huge to the Rams. So I think that the Eagles are almost so used to winning with this conservative style running with Saquon, relying on chewing the clock, which I love to watch. However, when Lane Johnson's hurt and you don't have Mekhi Becton this year, it's Steen instead of Becton. The line's not as good as it was last year. So the running's just not like Saquon's yards per carry are down like half this year. So what that means is that the throwing game's not going to be as good because it's more predictable. Patulo's play calling right now is somewhat predictable, and I think they're just easing their way into the season. And the fact that they're doing this and their offense is not as good as it should be, and they're still 4-0 with the gauntlet that they've had, I think that, like, especially this week, is a great opportunity to kind of buy AJ Brown, the Eagles in general. I mean, the spread this week's only 3.5 against Bo Nick's Broncos team, who blew out someone in prime time. So the public loves that and they hammer them. I think it's a great spot for the Eagles this week. Sean Payton and them, short week, going to Philly. And I think the Eagles kind of need like not a get right game because they didn't lose, but I think they're gonna force feed AJ Brown. I mean, I am currently trading for AJ Brown in my fantasy league, and I'm getting him at a very low price because I think it's down here right now, but like it's or I'm bullish on AJ Brown. Basically, what I'm saying.
I mean, for you to say that it's a bounce back week, I think that the Eagles are they're in for a tough test this week. Like the Broncos are the highest graded defense in the league right now. And you said AJ Brown's going to start clicking. He's going to get out passer team.
And
Like there's no way.
I think I think it's best on best. I think AJ Brown's a top 3 receiver in the league. Like
I don't know about top 3 anymore.
you don't think he's better than you think he's better than CeeDee Lamb?
He's not better than CeeDee Lamb.
Hair? You think he's better than CeeDee Lamb?
like the production has not been there this year, but like wide receiver, like I'm throwing the ball up, go get it. I mean, CD lost the Cowboys a game against the Eagles because he dropped the ball. AJ's not dropping balls. I mean, it's a point, but
bro.
you
AJ
know,
creates space right
AJ's not dropping balls because he's not getting the ball. Like
Yeah,
CD's getting targeted 15 times.
He'll start getting the ball.
I'm taking a different route to this whole AJ Brown thing. The Eagles don't need AJ Brown in their scheme. That's why he's not getting the ball. Like if they have to force feed AJ, they don't need AJ. And I don't think that's any discredit to AJ. I don't think it's a discredit to Hurts. If AJ Brown wants to catch 8 balls a game, go back to the Titans. If you want to win, you stay in Philly. Just keep your mouth shut. Stop with the antics off the field. You want to catch 8 balls for 120 and a touchdown every single week, go to the Titans.
See,
He's a
but
wide receiver though. They gotta complain.
dude, I think AJ Brown, that's just the player he is, though. Like you saw his Instagram post after the Super Bowl, he was saying how only 2 days before he started realizing, like, all right, winning really wasn't all it. And he was saying on his post, like, how he gets the joy from actually winning and beating players on the field. So he kind of is that player that's more hungry for stats and proving himself instead of winning. Not saying he doesn't want to win, but like, what's more important to him? I think he would rather win a receiving title than a Super Bowl. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's crazy to
like,
say that.
I know, honestly, like as an Eagles fan, that's great. But like, you have a contract, you're on the team, and they're not trading. Why would they trade AJ Brown? Because he's
No.
unhappy. Who gives a shit? Go on the field. You're a threat. Like if AJ Brown, people are like, oh, he's not really in their scheme. Do you know how much defenses plan for AJ Brown? Like, and how much that opens up for these other weapons, like a Goddard, like a Smitty.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, like a Saquon. I mean, it's insane. So like people are like, I love the like, and he knows what he's doing too. Like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He had an Instagram post this summer of him like unboxing a Julian Edelman jersey, number 11 Patriots. Was like, oh, and like turned it around. There's Julian Edelman. Like he loves the trolling, and he's done this before. Like he's reading a book on the sideline. Like of course that's all like fabricated and like it's him. Like he's like that message, the Bible verse or whatever, right after a great win against a good Bucks team. That's basically like, yo, Jalen, give me the ball. I'm gonna put you on blast in front of everyone. Get me the ball. And he's gonna get the ball. It's gonna work. Like there, what do you think the number? I guarantee you, and like you can clip this, whatever. I guarantee you the first offensive play the Eagles run or in that first drive, it will be a pass to AJ Brown, the stadium will erupt. So like I think people need to relax on that. And I everything's going to be good. Go trade for him in fantasy right now. Like you're going to be able to the guy I'm trading for AJ Brown. It's like a joke. I'm not going to tell you, Frank, but
It's definitely
you'll
Mike
find out
Evans.
tomorrow.
It's definitely Mike Evans. Which makes no sense for Marco. By the way, shout out Marco. You're the worst franchise in our league by far. History forever. You're 0
Yeah.
4 trading away AJ Brown for nothing. Also, Colin, fuck you.
You guys want to talk about
We got
Dylan
8 minutes.
Gabriel and
What do you guys want
Shador?
to talk about? I personally want to keep it with the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Honestly, I feel like there's other stuff we want to get into. We can just brush on Dylan Gabriel. Like,
yeah.
obviously, so the Browns came out and said they're starting Dylan Gabriel in their game in London against the Vikings. I think it's going to be a pretty brutal wake-up call for Dylan Gabriel. The Vikings front is no joke, but you did see Aaron Rodgers beat it last week. And how did he beat it? He got the ball out fast, but no one can get the ball out like Aaron Rodgers' quick releases. So is Dylan Gabriel going to have this same success? Probably not. But I do honestly think they could win this game because the Browns defense is legit. They got the best D-line pass duo in the league, and you're going up against Carson Wentz and that injured Vikings O-line. So they honestly could sneak out a win. I wouldn't be shocked. But is Dylan Gabriel going to light it up in his first game? Probably not.
Just a quick take on that. I would, and like, one of my favorite picks of this week is Vikings -3.5, just because a rookie quarterback who obviously the Browns didn't believe in because Joe Flacco, the fossil that he is starting at quarterback over him against a Brian Flores defense. Just seems like a nightmare. Seems like a great spot to take opposite of the Browns. And I don't love betting Carson Wentz against that defensive front. But I mean, when you're playing Dylan Gabriel like in his first game in London, of all places, like
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's a good spot to fade the Browns here.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Jack?
Sure. What about Shadur? How about
Dude,
his?
Shador, all the Shador talk, like I trust me, I want to see him play. Like there's not a, actually that's probably a lie, but I do want to see him play. But the problem is, you watch him in the preseason, he holds the ball way too long. I think he had like 6 seconds. There was a stat where he basically had the most time till throw out of 105 quarterbacks in the preseason. He holds the ball too long. He gets sacked on his own. So it's not worth. He's not ready. He's not ready.
Yeah,
Obviously, obviously he's fucking horrible. Like
Yeah,
that's why he's not playing.
yeah.
Like it's not like I love the people that are like, oh, like it's like it's because he's Dion's son and like it's because like I don't even
That,
know. Like
yeah.
the NFL is blackballing him or whatever. Like
yeah,
he's
Just
just not
trash.
good.
yeah.
Why wouldn't the Browns play the best quarterback? It's like
Exactly.
That's what
Like
I'm
they
there's
want to
saying.
no,
win.
they're
But
not
also
proving no points. Like they just want to fucking win, so they all keep their jobs.
and
Hmm.
if you want Shador, guess what? You're gonna get him. Because Dylan Gabriel's not going to be good, and 5 weeks from now is week 10, and those fans are going to be like, and the owners are going to come downstairs and be like, "Hey, Stefanski, like, how you doing? If you don't play Shador, like, you might get fired because we need people in these seats. And if Shador's starting, it might, like, ESPN might flex it to Monday night for no
Yeah,
reason, like,
yeah,
you know. So
Exactly. I
exactly.
agree. Last topic. We got 4 minutes here. How about Jackson Dart, Harris? I know this is a topic you could talk about for hours. He just beat my MVP. He just beat Justin Herbert. And I know you guys aren't high on Herbert. I am. Jackson Dart, he looked great. I know he didn't flash much with his arm. I know he looked like he was run first. Is that healthy? Like, what does that say about his longevity in the NFL? Like, he's not going down. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I know he's SEC too, Harris, so you might like him. I don't, how do you feel about this?
and like, just real quick here, I'm an Eagles fan. I hate the Giants more than anything. I was really impressed by Jackson Dart. Just like, and like, yeah, his throwing wasn't great. It was his first game against a very good defense and
Yeah.
against Jim Harbaugh, and he won the game without Malik Neighbors. Like, it was an extremely impressive performance. And like in his first game, his running ability, especially on third down, and just like making those completions in big spots, that was exactly what Giants fans needed. I mean, he was just a breath of fresh air, and that is why it is a perfect spot to fade the Giants this week on the road
100%.
against the Saints.
100%. I was just about to say that too. Like,
100%.
as good as Jackson Dart looked, like
Lock.
that's because the
Yeah.
Chargers they had no film of him. They didn't know how to play him.
Yeah.
Saints got film. It's such a trap spot. Being in New Orleans, like,
Yep.
yeah,
Perfect.
fade the Giants.
But
Also,
here,
Rattler,
here,
dude, sleep on Rattler.
Dude, Rattler's been balling this year,
slinging it a
bro.
little bit. I
Hmm.
like
Okay,
Juwan.
yeah,
I like Rashid. I
Chris
like
he's
Olave
good.
is
TJ.
Okay.
quietly catching like 12 balls a game, by the way. Like quietly.
He was
He's
our
bounce
backup
Quietly because
2 years
they're
ago,
back.
Holmes.
quietly because they're down 150
Yeah,
at half, and it's just
True.
like,
correct.
I mean, I could put you out there. You're completing a few balls, but like, yeah,
True.
look, Carolina guy. I love Rattler. Uh, this could be the spot where he wins a game, though. I mean, Vegas. The line came out. It was Giants -2.5, and I was sitting around. And I was like, oh my god, like that is perfect. I should do this right now. And then lo and behold, I wake up the next morning and the spread's already Saints -1.5. I'm like, okay, the professionals already
Yeah.
hoard money on that line. And, now it's a little inflated. I still think the Saints can win that game outright. I think it's a great spot for Rattler to get his first win, and everyone, public's going to be really high on Jackson Dart. It's like, oh, he had a great first game. And it's like, okay, yeah, now they got a week of film on you. And everyone thinks the Saints suck, but like, go try and win the Superdome. If he wins this week, I would be fairly impressed.
Yeah.
But that is for sure bet.
Yo,
Yeah.
The Saints
Holmes,
-2.
Andrew
100%.
Cole's on Giants.
Is he? Oh, dude, that's how you know it's a big fade. Yeah, how much time we got, Jack?
We got a minute.
Okay, really quick. I wanted to touch on the Monday night game. Jaguars Chiefs. Do the Chiefs keep on rolling? They looked good the past 2 weeks, but the Jaguars are low-key sneaky. Like, I think the Jaguars got a great defense. Trevor Lawrence has been all right. I know Brian Thomas had some drama. I think it's gonna be a great game, probably one of the best games of the week. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jags pull off the upset.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
I like that. I don't know. The Chiefs look so good though. Oh my
Yeah, they did look
God.
good.
Were these just getting
I'm
healthy,
on.
healthier and
Mhm.
healthier? I don't
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
What do you think,
I'm
Harris?
on just real
30
quick. I'm
seconds.
on the complete opposite side. I think the Chiefs are gonna boat race them. I think in like deploying capital on Trevor Lawrence is a death wish,
Mhm.
and it's hard to watch. But the Jags have been impressive. So
Yeah,
I'm probably on the Chiefs, but yeah.
yeah, it'll
Yeah.
be good.
Well, thank you
Awesome.
guys. We appreciate it. As always, you don't know ball, we do. Thank you, Harris. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys for
Yep.
having me
Thanks for
on.
tuning in.
Yes,
Yep.
sir. Peace.